Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of our channel. Today we'll be talking about this motorized BMX. This is a bike which I used when I was a kid. I learned how to ride a bicycle on this bike, and when I grew older I thought I must still be able to use the bike, so I motorized this bicycle. All modifications made on this bike are completely reversible. Any day I want to turn this bike back to the cycle which I originally had, I can always do it. You can see that if I remove one bolt here, I can remove the entire assembly. I can remove the tank, the seat post, the engine, everything together, because everything is mounted on one single pipe. All these are just supporting struts which can be removed. So if I remove one bolt here, I can just take out the entire assembly and maybe put it on a different bike. I have used a TVS 50 engine which I have upgraded with a Scooty ES bore to boost the power output, because TVS 50 is a 50cc moped whereas Scooty ES is a 60cc moped, but it sets right in when I put it onto this engine. Just the bore is changed, the head, everything remains the same. On the TVS 50 moped, the engine mounts on the other direction, that is mounted this way, whereas on the moped it mounts the other way, on the other angle. So there are two original pair of holes on the engine case, but what I had to do was I had to drill extra pair of holes so that I could tilt the engine to the other side, because if I had to fit the engine on the front of the seat post, it would add on the number of pulleys, because I had to have an idler pulley and then take a drive from it, which increases the complication, adds weight. To keep it simple, I found that this is the best way to do it. So I came up with this idea of drilling another set of holes and tilting the engine the other way. Now it is perfectly set. The only thing is I had to drill a pair of holes. The drive is a belt drive which is taken from the clutch pulley, and it drives a cast iron pulley down here. This is a cast iron pulley which actually comes for a floor grinder. I had to machine it on the lathe and set it here so that I could get the final drive. Inside here we have our clutch assembly. It's a centrifugal clutch which I will be showing you. Here we have a centrifugal clutch. What this does is it uses centrifugal force to engage and disengage our engine with the final drive. So the belt is connected to this pulley here. It acts as the clutch belt. Inside we have two cork plates and three metal plates. When the engine reaches the required RPM, the centrifugal force actually throws the balls out. It's got many ball bearings inside. So when that is pushed outward, it is actually directed in such a way that it pushes the plates together. So when the plates come and touch each other, by the act of friction, it engages the engine with the final drive and wheels start spinning. This is a muffler I built myself. This is actually the popper can which comes inside the birthday poppers, those sparkly things. This is actually a gas charged can which comes inside those poppers. I had taken the original bend from the TVS 50, and I had to cut it here and then get it bent to the shape I needed. And then inside the muffler I have a core which has got multiple holes inside, so it will muffle the sound which is coming out of my engine. The length of the tube is quite short, so it is actually very difficult to reduce the sound with this short length. So all that I could do is have a core inside, and having a core actually increases the back pressure, which is not very good for the engine, but it works quite good, no problem with it. The fuel tank is also from a TVS 50. On the bike it mounts vertically, but here I mounted it horizontally. So I had to make some modifications. I had to shift the filler cap from here to here, so I had to dummy that hole and get the neck braced here. Similarly, the fuel output was here. I had to dummy that hole and get it welded here. The fuel cock, I got aftermarket one. It comes with a key just to have better control over it. I got my main and reserve which is operated using a key. The speedometer drive is taken from the rear wheel because I don't have much place in the front wheel, because the fork is quite narrow. The speedometer drive, the worm drive is out of a TVS 50. The cable is out of an LML Vespa, and the meter is out of a Bajaj Sunny. This is a Miller dynamo which my dad installed on this bike when I was a kid. I didn't feel like removing it when I converted it into a motorbike. However, I have this light which is connected to the engine coil and I control it with the switch here. And I've got a tail light as well which is connected to the engine. So when I pedal the bike around, I use my dynamo, and when I turn on the engine, I can use this light which is powered by the engine coil. Pump is one of a fancy feature which I added to the vehicle. I bought it from a local bicycle store. You can open it this way. To pump the bicycle, you just open your valve. You just need to push it in and press this lever outward. And there is a double stage pump, so you pull it out and pump it in. I got full air, I am just demonstrating it for you. But in case there is less air, this pump actually pumps quite good. I have actually used it many times. Yeah. And once you are done, just do the reverse. Pull it out, it's like a wall cap. There is Velcro here just to hold it in place, and you're done. This bike is perfectly road legal as long as you're keeping at speeds below 45 km an hour. You don't require a license to ride a bike which is below 50cc as per Motor Vehicles Act 1989. So in case you get in trouble with the cops or in case you run out of fuel, I'll show you just what to do. To start this bike, you need to ensure that your fuel cock is open. You need to put this key in and turn on the fuel. Ensure that your switch is on. This is your ignition switch. And then you got a lever here which engages your centrifugal clutch. Engage that lever, bring it to compression and kick. Turn it off and push it up again. To talk about the endurance of this vehicle, I have ridden this vehicle for around 40 km from my college to home after displaying at an event. This bike could hold up good for the highway speeds. I could touch around 70 km an hour on the highway. I covered around 40 to 48 km at an average speed of around 50 to 60 km an hour. This bike could hold up good, there was no problem at all. The only thing was I actually broke my muffler that day, so I had an open exhaust. I'll show you a video of how that sounds. It was like a machine gun riding on the highway. The sound it was making on the highway was just tremendous because my exhaust was open with no muffler at all. I had a friend of mine who was riding along on a Royal Enfield Himalayan. He actually zoomed on his speedometer. That's how I found that I was doing 70 km an hour on the highway. So looking at that video, I myself actually felt scared because I had no protective gears at all. I was doing 70 km an hour like a mad fellow, and because this bike doesn't have very good brakes, I am using conventional bicycle brakes which are good enough for the city use. I can stop the bike where I need to stop, but keeping it at around 70 km an hour is something just crazy, because if you're pushing the bike to its limit, you have to have some sense of where that limit actually is. And I had pushed the bike to its limit on that day, and looking at the video, I actually knew what kind of craziness I was at. And after riding this bike home, I actually had a sense of satisfaction which I experienced. And I was still shaking after reaching home because this bike actually gives a lot of vibration because I am sitting right on top of the engine, and it's a kind of good feeling, like it's an emotion after riding the vehicle. You experience the rawness of the engine and you're sitting right on the engine, so you can feel the heat and you can feel the engine groaning under you. It's a good experience which you have to ride to experience it.